I'm sure many of you guys have heard the news, but Lululemon reported earnings after the market closed today. And based off of what it is, not only that it reported, but what it announced has caused the stock at one point to be up 11%. It's actually up 10.35% during the overnight hours. If you know anything about Lululemon, you know that it's kind of been struggling since it hit highs of $5.16 per share. Currently trading at lows of 206 with that 10% push, but right before the close, we were nearly at 52-week lows. We're at 180, previous lows were 159, but as you guys can see, the story has been lower highs and lower lows pretty much all of 2024 to 2025. We did have, and that's one thing that I kind of have to give it to. It does have these V-shaped recoveries, but they kind of tend to be short-lived. They try to recover and then it just gets rejected. It tries to recover and then just gets rejected. So it does have recoveries along the way. And I think that's what makes it kind of attractive for those style of traders, right? Some people don't like that and I respect it. But I can see why others that like to trade reversals and maybe swing trades, catching something this oversold, seeing if it runs up to 230, 240, maybe in this case, getting a little bit closer to the 300, why that could be so attractive, right? Especially percent growth wise. Again, if you were to be able to catch it at that $200 price point to previous highs, the previous resistance range would be right around that $300 price point. That's a 54% return. But for those that did not hear the news, yes, Lululemon stock surges 12% after company CEO says that he is resigning. Now, not only that, but also there was a total of $1 billion increase in its stock repurchase program. And of course, the CEO stepping down. I do believe that the CEO stepping down is obviously a big focus. If we actually pull up Lulu on Investing Pro, again, friendly reminder, if you guys ever want to use this software yourself to be able to dive a little bit deeper, it's going to be the first link in the description down below. But Lulu has a very low PE ratio. That means that you're paying a very low premium to own the stock based off of what the company is valued at to what the company actually makes. So when we look at the current valuation, again, you don't have to agree with it, especially if it does not align with your criteria. Maybe you're a little bit more tech focused, more AI, maybe more crypto focused. I don't know who you are, right? Market cap, $22 billion, especially after losing nearly or more than 50% of its market cap value. But being at a $20 billion market cap, its revenue is 50% of that. And then its net income is $1.7 billion of that. This company makes more in revenue than almost every BS wannabe AI aspiring company combined, right? All those pre-revenue companies. I'm not talking about the nvidia or the Meta. I'm talking about all those pre-revenue companies that are nowhere close to making any real money. Lulu actually does. It has $10.9 billion in sales. Its revenue has actually been increasing, which is great. Its net income has been increasing, and its PE ratio is incredibly low. At least for me, this is one that I definitely want to add to my investment watch list. I don't know about you guys, but if you think that markets are overbought and possibly due for a retracement, Lulu can possibly sell off, especially if we do enter a recession. But I view this to be more recession proof, especially as it's already trading cheaper. There's always going to be downside potential, but long term, I kind of like the stock if it actually begins to see indication of a recovery. Its fundamentals look pretty fair. And if we look at the pro research, you guys let me know down in the comments section what you think. Would this be a stock that you would consider investing in, or does it not meet your criteria at all? There's no right or wrong answer. At the end of the day, none of us can predict the future, but the goal is to obviously find good deals. And I feel like that's very hard to do right now with tech-based companies, especially if there's any AI in them. They're all insanely overvalued. You're paying an insane premium to own them. So if markets do retrace, those speculative stocks are always the ones that sell off the most. And companies like this that are trading at a very low premium with actual solid revenue, again, this is where, when you see the company itself buying $1 billion of its own shares, it's like the inverse MSTR. It's not diluting its investors. It's buying more of its own shares because it sees it to be possibly undervalued. So that's one thing that I quickly wanted to highlight. And again, you guys let me know down in the comment section what you think. Does that mean that it has to hold at $200? No, I think that 10% push can possibly be an overreaction, but I really hope that it could be kind of stepping stones in it working its way back up to that $300, $400, or $500 price point along the way. But any reaction can be an overreaction. So don't be surprised if tomorrow markets end up pulling back a little bit on Lulu. We'll see how the markets open up, and who knows, maybe in tomorrow's live trading session, you'll see me shorting Lulu if price action supports it. You guys know that I'm all about, there's a big difference between a trade and an investment. And although I might see value in Lulu long term, it has a lot to prove. And if it sees some retracement potential, that I'm always willing to short something. With that being said, I quickly also wanted to show you a position that I took today. I'm very happy that I called it out with our LPP team. So a lot of you guys know that I don't like MSTR. I did a really good job shorting it yesterday. I made over $7,300. The one thing that really stood out to me today is markets sold off. I talked about it in today's video a little bit early on. They sold off very aggressively. So I wasn't very surprised that markets recovered, but the markets recovered a lot more than what I was expecting. And again, I can't predict the future, but I stayed very patient for the most part. Although I did lose $428, that's not a big loss if you know how much it is that I normally trade with. When I saw that my MSTR began to recover back to pre-market levels right around 1 o'clock, which is 1 hour before the market closes here in Arizona, I saw it kind of as an opportunity. I was like, hey, it's an overbought reversal, risk to reward. It kind of makes sense. Nonetheless, direction was in favor for the bulls. And the only thing that I did very good was my position size management. I did take a loss, and there's no reason to sugarcoat that. But the thing that I did good was I gave it a little bit of money, less than 10% of what I normally trade with. So it's easy to tolerate, right? Let this thing rip up. Me losing that $400, I can go in with, 80% more tomorrow at the market open if direction supports it. And at that point, it's really just going to take a 1% move to make this back and then some, right? But that is the important part. When you see there to be a losing trade, you don't add more to it. You either cut losses, or if it's light enough and you can tolerate it, then at that point you can make the decision if it's worth holding because you see the downside risk to be worth it. But I wanted to show you guys quickly the little messages I share with my LPP team. Not only do they get to watch me trade live, but they also get position updates of what I'm trading, not to copy what it is that I'm doing, but to understand my thought process. So I shared the simple idea, and it says, and then I shared with them, no break of pattern on MSTR, still holding. I have 250 shares, opening very light, right? I'd like to open 1,500 shares once it breaks support, and then followed up at 117. Strong uptrend, no break of pattern. QQQ testing pre-market range. We might be running out of time. That's 30 minutes shortly after or right before the market is set to close. And then MSTR never broke support. I never added to the small short. Here's my loss for the day. It's still open, yes, but it's still a red day. But the biggest thing is that it was a small position size. And that was my biggest takeaway. So I don't want to be like, oh, look, I only lost a little bit. Like, it was still a loss. And I think that's important to highlight. But it's when you lose, you need to make sure, at least in my opinion, that it's not ever more than the green days that you have, right? If you're losing just as much as you're making, then at that point, you really are not giving yourself a position to continue to scale and grow as a trader. Nothing wrong with taking a bad trade. We're all going to take them. If you day trade daily, you might take them daily. The whole point is to manage and mitigate those losses so when they do present themselves, they're either minimal and you cut the bleeding if they become too much, which can be harder to recover from. So I just wanted to use myself as an example, especially for those that are just getting started. I'm excited to see what presents itself tomorrow, right? With that being said, NASDAQ market, although it still ended in the red, again, a very impressive recovery. And I think that we can all say this, a lot of volatility in the last 24 hours, from big rips ups to big rip downs to sharp recoveries. This is exactly why I made the video that I made this morning. When in doubt, never be afraid to cash out. The FOMC rate decision was a very volatile time to be paying attention to the market, which I think just emphasizes the importance of being selective and being patient during an uncertain time. We'll see tomorrow what actually ends up presenting itself. Will markets continue to sell off? Will markets continue to recover or begin to sell off once again? Depending on that market direction will determine what it is that I decide to trade. If markets begin to sell off, I'd be more than happy to go short, but if markets begin to recover and push up higher, I do not mind staying patient and staying cash as it's Friday. If you want to watch me trade live as soon as tomorrow, it's going to be the second link in the description down below. I do want to remind you, it's designed for complete beginners. You get to watch me trade live and see every trade that I take within those sessions. And yes, it's a one-time payment for lifetime access. And right now you can get one of the biggest discounts by clicking that second link in the description down below. Appreciate your time. Like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note. Take care, team.